Welcome in, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. We got Pags. We got Stat Guy. How you doing, gentlemen?
I'm doing great. And after watching what I watched last night, I am feeling fan-effing-tastic. Shohei who? 200 what? Nothing. He was going for his 200th home run last night, too. And squat. And the Phillies love playing the Dodgers. They love playing the Dodgers. I don't know why. I don't know what it gets into them. They love playing out in L.A. in Dodger Stadium. They love beating them up over here, too. And it doesn't matter. It just not seem to matter. The Phillies have the Dodgers number. Of course, me saying that now, it'll probably be a ridiculous night tonight. But
yeah, right. He'll pop 3 out just because.
But if anybody listened to my live yesterday as I got painted up, somebody asked me who was hitting home runs. And I said, here's who I think. I think Turner's going to hit one, and Stott hasn't hit one in a while. He's going to hit one.
Okay.
And in the same inning, grand slam by Turner, another, I think, 2-run shot by Stott. And I was like, I had to make a video about it. I'm like, I hope somebody was listening to me.
That's where you wish you would have taken some prop bets.
I do. I hope somebody made money. Somebody should have made money. Somebody asked me, who do I think was going to hit a home run? And I told them at that time, I thought Stott was going to do it. He goes, I'm going to add that to my parlay just because you said it. So I hope he did. I hope he did say that. I hope he did actually add that to his parlay because it was a wiener.
That was what you call message sent and delivered.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Hey, I got a baseball trivia question. We're talking baseball. If you know the answer is, there is a full team. It's the only.
You broadcasting from a submarine? What are we doing?
Yeah, you're going in and out, Jay, in a bad way.
Now he's just out.
The original
I hear
Mario
like
had less blocks than this. I like that it froze him where he looks like a garden gnome.
He would have better results standing outside in the hurricane right now.
I know he's trying to flip us off, but he keeps freezing, so it's not working out.
Yeah, I think you got to reset, Jay.
Yeah, I'd restart the router at this point.
I would just go outside and do it.
Maybe move to a place that isn't trying to murder you all the time.
Yeah, they're trying to drown him. They're trying to blow him away. It's like everything that's happened in Houston. I've never heard of one city getting so much weather.
Right? Like just
so he moved there.
Getting hammered.
So, Chad, I am going to try to put my hat in the ring for next year's. I want to go to. I want to be in the All-Star game, softball game next year. You look clearer now, Jet. You actually look clearer.
Yeah, okay. you gonna hang out for a second?
Okay. I hope so. I mean, we're still kind of coming off the effects of that hurricane. So I don't know, it's crazy. But anyway, 10 seconds to answer this. Let's see who can get it. There's only one high school in all of baseball history in the United States that had a losing record, but still went on to go win state. Can anybody guess what high school that was?
Well, I'm not going to guess because you sent it to me.
Yeah. No, but you're disqualified.
Exactly.
This is for the.
Let me guess. It's your high school.
No.
I have no clue.
And it's actually kind of close to your neck of the woods. Stat guy, you got 10 seconds. Did I stop the stat guy? Oh my God!
Wait, it's close. Who's close to whose neck of the woods?
No, Pags. It's closer to Pags.
Okay.
No.
I can't believe that's a stat guy.
Is the team's out of is the team out of New York?
No.
Okay.
I will tell you this. It's a team out of Ohio.
Okay.
I will give you that. I will give you that one clue. Ohio. They had a losing record, and they actually went on to win state with the losing record.
Let's call that Cleveland.
They're out of, I think. Are they out of Mason, Ohio?
Gibbstown, Gibbsboro.
Gibson.
Right.
Well, you were looking clear. Now you're looking frozen.
Yeah, but he's clearly frozen. It's Gibdenburg High School.
Gibdenburg High School. Guess what? There was no chance I was ever answering that because I don't live in Ohio and I don't follow high school baseball.
Yep.
So I wasn't going to win that. I will tell you this. I do happen to. He's going, damn. I do happen to know who has the best batting average in Major League Baseball as a team.
Yeah.
And how they are not in first place.
Yeah. And the team that has the worst batting average in the league somehow is.
It is in first place. So interestingly enough, I was talking to somebody. There was a Seattle Mariners fan at the ball from Seattle. They came to the ballpark to watch the Phillies and Dodgers because they were in town. And we talked for a little bit. And I told him how I did this show daily with somebody from Seattle, and that you guys are actually having a good team, a good season this so far, and and discussed with him exactly everything that we had gone over yesterday without the different I was like, okay, you guys are worst in batting average, you're second worst in plate appearances, however you're eighth in walks and eighth in runs scored. So it's very interesting to have that in the mix and you guys be in first place in your division.
It's interesting to be first, leading the division with the worst batting average. That just begs to have that meme of, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you can't generate runs, the playoffs are going to be tough, provided you get there. But
yes. I mean, it would be interesting to see a team that has the absolute worst batting average as a team make it to the playoffs. That would be very interesting to see how that plays out in the playoffs. But I talked about how Bellinger is.
Has that even ever happened?
I can't speak intelligently about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it has. Like, that just doesn't even make sense.
Actually, it wouldn't surprise me
Maybe
if
one of
the Braves teams,
exactly.
one of those Braves teams did it because they had such a strong pitching staff. And although they had some decent bats, those bats weren't so great. There wasn't a lot of Hall of Famers on that team besides the pitching staff.
No, and that's why I said one of those Atlanta teams. That is the only teams I could think of that might have done it.
Right. But other than that, I think that, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But like I said, Bellinger is the one spot that looks like that he could possibly go. How would you feel about that, stat guy, Bellinger going to Seattle?
I'd be fine with it because he really hasn't lived up to his $30 million contract. The big question is, what can you get for a return in him? Because he has those 2 option years left for the second and third year of his contract, where if he doesn't opt into those 2 years, you're going to get less of a package for him. But if he opts into those 2 years, you're going to get more of a package for him. Seattle,
he'd have to opt in. He'd have to opt in for at least 1 year.
Yeah, next year.
That's like if you're going to do that, it has to be with I am early opting in on year 1 of this 2 extra options and doing that.
If I'm Seattle or Philly, though, I'm going after Ian Happ more than Cody Bellinger. Because Ian Happ is on an absolute tear right now. He's got 55 RBIs, but he's got 41 RBIs in his last 30 games. He's on an absolute tear right now. Has been basically single-handedly carrying the Cubs offense when they decide to actually show any offense at all.
Yeah,
He's
but
been
the Cubs are
single-handedly-
not going to do that. The Cubs
They
aren't
are
gonna get rid
looking
of-
to trade Ian Happ before Cody Bellinger.
What position does he play?
Left field.
Yeah, I know that the
They need to switch.
Phillies need an outfielder.
And he's a switch hitter.
I don't know. Was CJ Stroud going to where? I'm not even
Yeah,
sure.
like what event are you going to?
He's going to lose his poop. He's going to lose his poop emoji.
So this is this off season, right? We talked about this off air yesterday, but this last off season, before the season got going, I said that we had gotten rid of bats, and it looked like maybe they were going to take a swing at Ohtani or something would be the only way you were clearing that space. And then, of course, obviously they don't bring any new bats in. One of the guys they let go was Kelnick, right? Who wasn't great last year, but wasn't terrible. He's young, could have just been an off year. Well, it turns out it was. So when you look at where he is now, he's playing for the Braves, and his batting average, OPS, slugging, all of that is better than any Mariner at all. And they have him batting leadoff. It's a playoff team. It's like, it looked like a bad move when they did it, and it sure looks like a bad move still.
Well, and the rich always get richer. You know what I mean? So that's how that typically works. And I have a feeling that has more to do with the staff around him.
Yeah.
Than like the people that they got some hitters on that team. You know what I mean?
They do, but I mean, it's not like he was bad the year before, right? So I mean, he had a less productive year, which happens in baseball, right? But the problem is the Mariners are now looking for a guy that has exactly his stats, which means you had your dude on the team. And but instead, the Mariners like to train guys up and then send them somewhere else to win a ring. Not that I'm bitter about it, but hey.
Not that Atlanta's going to win a ring.
No, they're not. But they do have a habit of coaching up talent. The Mariners have routinely been the league's AAA team. Cultivate talent, send them out, go win a ring.
There's 3 or 4 teams that actually do that specifically. Thinking about who are the teams that are the AAA farm club of everybody else? The Marlins, the Rays,
the Pirates,
the A's, the Pirates.
Sure.
And you are claiming Seattle.
Yeah.
So Seattle.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, all you have to do is pay attention to baseball at all, and you're like, Seattle they just bring players along, and then when they're ready, they send them out.
What is spraying?
Welcome to the show, guys.
But it's like I think about that. The Pirates, as far as the Pirates go, people keep asking me who is it that I want at the trade deadline, and I keep saying David Bednar. I want Bednar. I want a real closer on this team, a real closer on this team. And I appreciate the fact that we're able to do different things on the Phillies. And, the bats are okay. And it seems like even when we don't have our main guys out there, we went 5-4 without our 3 best players, arguably, without Bryce Harper, without Schwarber, and without JT Realmuto. We went 5-4 in that 9-game stretch.
What about going to get Tyler Scott from the Marlins? Or Tanner Scott. I think he'll be traded before the Pirates get rid of Bednar.
Yeah, but I don't want Robert, I'm not taking anything that you got to say. So obviously I'll just take him and give you a bag of donuts. How about that? Yeah. And then I'll put him on my AA farm team where he should be playing. So I actually think that the Pirates will trade Bednar this year. They were going to try to trade him last year and they didn't get enough. I think they understand now exactly where he is in things. So I feel that if the Pirates typically have the Phillies number, it's kind of like the same way with the Phillies and the Dodgers. The Pirates have Phillies number for some reason. The Pirates always play strong against the Phillies and beat us. They usually win the series, and you see him a lot in the series against us. My expectation is that we are going to see him again, and that there is going to be a real conversation about it. And it's likely that we would trade like one or two of our prospects. Like I know that we have like 4 in the top 100 prospects, and I think that we would probably trade our second tier and our fourth tier prospect, the second and fourth in that list of 100, along with Pache, who is a good outfielder, who, if he played every day, I think would be better and falls in line to what they're looking for in terms of, hey, this guy's got some speed. He does have a little bit of a bat. He can play outfield and do their thing out there, and he is priced right.
Why don't you just go after Mason Miller?
Because I think that they want way too much for him.
What?
For Mason Miller, they're going to want all 4 of those prospects and like 2 players. Yeah. And I'm not interested in doing that. Like I wouldn't be interested in, because I don't believe that he is that guy going into next year. I think he is the best of a bad bunch. And ultimately, because he's shining so much brighter than the rest of the team, that's what makes him look so attractive. But I don't think he's that great. I think he's pitched a few games and he's done well. But I think if you put him in real situations where there is actual real pressure, I don't know that he's going to perform as well. Where I think the opposite with Bednar. I think Bednar, when he comes into the pressure, and he's got that pressure on him, he pitches much better.
Well, the next question is, do you want a closer with playoff experience?
I don't need a closer with playoff experience. I just need a seasoned closer.
Because the other option was Kenley Jansen. Because Boston's been trying to unload Kenley Jansen since October.
Yeah, I know.
They're still trying to unload him.
That's a money thing, though.
Yeah, I could see this, Rob. The biggest thing for the M's is whatever deal they do, they have to figure out how to not lose pitching in the process, because it's the only thing that's saving them. And going and getting one bat won't do any good if the pitching drops off, because one bat doesn't fix the team. I mean, when you have the worst batting average in the league, that's not because one guy isn't pulling his weight that you can just plug and play a guy. That is the entire staff of hitting isn't doing what they need to do. And
yeah, but I believe, and I don't mean to cut you off here, but I believe that one player coming in to energize a lineup could actually have a trickle down.
So that's what I was going to say. It could jumpstart some of it. I don't know that it's going to elevate an entire batting order. Is the thing. Like this is one where I think you probably need 2 bats.
Maybe. And you don't need the second bat to be ridiculously great. You just need it to be better than what you got.
That's what I'm saying. You need to have one guy that is a great bat. Like you need to go buy a bat. And then the second guy needs to be a competent batter. Right.
And that's why I think Bellinger would be the perfect spot for him, because he is that. And then the competent guy, I think you could probably go out and peel somebody off of.
That's where Rob's guy here, competent bat.
Just one.
Yeah, like that would be that competent bat. That could work. But the problem is, to get either one of those guys, you're probably giving up pitching. Right? Like
not necessarily for Bellinger. Cubs need a catcher. So if you have a high, I'm not gonna say like a top 5 prospect, but if you have a catching prospect in your minor league system that's in AAA or close to AAA and close to
what position does Bellinger play?
Center field or first base.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have a catcher in your minor league system that's either in AAA right now or on the verge of getting the AAA and close to being MLB ready, the Cubs would probably part ways Bellinger as long as they get that catching prospect. because their catching system right now is terrible. Jan Gomes hit a 140 before they cut him. Miguel Amaya is hitting a 171, and now they have Thomas Nito who's hitting a 184. They have
That
nothing
makes
in
me
terms of their
nervous.
catching right now.
That makes me nervous. You saying that kind of makes me think that the
Because the
Phillies are back
Phillies-
in the mix.
The Phillies are also interested in Bellinger, but the Cubs already said they want that Phillies top catching prospect, who I think is like number 2 or number 3 in their system.
March on.
That's who that's who the Cubs want if they trade Bellinger to Philadelphia. They
Well,
want to,
and I understand that.
Yeah.
And so that becomes, is Marchand, is it a 1-for-1? Is that what you're doing? You're trading Marchand for Bellinger?
it'd be most likely Marchand for Bellinger straight up, basically, but then the Phillies would have to throw in like a lower level prospect, not like a top 30 guy, but like another lower level piece that you can just stick in the AA or whatever.
I got you.
Yeah, like a player to be named later is really what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
It would pretty much be those two straight up, little Bellinger for Marchand.
It's the money. The money becomes the thing again.
Cubs would eat it.
Huh?
The Cubs would eat it.
Well, that makes it a little bit easier. But there again, then you almost don't want him to option in.
Yeah.
You would straight out. You'd get him in there, and we got center fielder. Center fielder's not the problem. I
mean, you could play him at first, I guess.
You got Bryce.
no,
Harper.
you can't. You got Bryce Harper at first.
Oh, that's true.
You got
Yeah.
Bellinger. You can put in right. You got Bellinger. You can put in right field over Castellanos. You
Can't
can
do
put
that
Castellanos
either.
for left.
You're playing Castellanos.
Or you-
Castellanos has been playing much better. He's going to be at the back of his card before the end of the season.
Or you put Bellinger in left.
So that's the other thing. But then what are you doing with Brad Marsh? Brad Marsh had actually started out here playing center field, so you could move him back to center field, and you could try to trade Rojas. I know that they like Pache because of his locker room presence, but I feel that how much is that really get affected with him going?
Yeah.
You know, he's not the main staple. You know, like I feel the same way about Garrett Stubbs. I mean, I love Stubbs, and you know, I when anybody asks me who's my favorite player on the Phillies right now, I say it's Garrett Stubbs. That being said, he has a challenge at the plate,
Mhm.
you know, and he's an okay catcher. He's a great backup catcher. He's perfect for being a backup catcher. That being said, he's not an everyday catcher, which is the reason why they need to keep Marchand on this team. When JT comes back, then that's a different story about having Marchand be able to kind of work that out. But you know, they changed the rules of the, hey, we're going to put this guy on waiver, and if he clears through waivers, then you can take him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's, you know, they changed that rule. There's no more of that anymore. So it'll be interesting to see if anything does get done in that regards. But beyond our bats, I don't think that bats have been our problem.
No,
I feel that closing has been our problem. We haven't been able to finally close out games.
That was lucky, Wes.
Yeah.
And whoever Soto is, I tell you, Soto cannot be on this team next year. I'm just so tired of watching him go out there and just give up runs.
Stop the cap.
I mean,
We're going to do it more.
I'm impressed you guys have figured out, you know, with the injuries to return back to the top spot in the league.
Well,
I mean,
player-
you weathered that storm well. Obviously, the Yankees have just fallen off the map.
Well, I just hit Wes on the fly. How'd you like that?
I think they're 3-7 in their last 10.
Look at this.
Like they have not played well.
No, they have not.
Pigs, is Marjan the one that's in the majors right now for you?
Yes.
So the Cubs are looking at Eduardo Tate, who is your number 8 prospect right now, who's a catcher. And then there's another catcher that's Caden Hediger. Does that sound right?
Did you see that Bullocks though?
Hedinger is like only in like
He's like
advanced to A, right? Like
He's
he's not.
in high A right now.
Yeah, exactly. So
Those are the-
he's still ways away on that
Those are
one.
the two
He
names
would
that
be the
this-
one. He's the one they are expecting
What
Yeah.
is nice
to
is
come up and actually take for JT
That's
in
who they're-
3 years.
that's who they're-
That's. But they're not going to give that one up. You know,
That's
like I
who
said,
they
he
would-
doesn't
that's who the
even.
Cubs want- That's who the Cubs would want for Bellinger is that guy that the second one. The one
But they
that's
need a
higher.
catcher that could play right now.
They do, but at this point, I think they're okay just getting through this season, just because they don't have any catching options beyond this season. Because Gomes is released, Thomas Nito's only on a 1-year deal throw this year, and then Miguel Amaya's in a final year of his basically rookie deal, so they don't have any catching options beyond this year. So at this point, it's like just give us something to build on for the future.
Robert, you know how stupid that statement sounds? Do you know how stupid that statement sounds? You know that every team in Major League Baseball plays every other team in Major League Baseball. Don't tell me about the competition in the AL being so much better than the National League. We have had a ridiculous record against the AL, beating teams in the AL in comparison. So don't tell me about how much greater the AL is in comparison to the National League. All right, because every team is playing every other team. So that statement sounds ridiculous. I thought you knew a little bit more about sports than that.
It's the new unbalanced schedule, guys. Come on, it's been around now for a couple of years.
Right. This is
Please, God, please trade him. Please, God, please trade him.
I feel like just about everybody for the Cubs is a possibility. Like they're just
There
playing.
shouldn't be any untouchables there in Chicago.
That's what I'm saying.
Anywhere in Chicago at all. All the sports teams, there should be no untouchable other than
there should be two untouchables. There should be 2 untouchables on the Cubs. That's it.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Imanaga and Steele.
Imanaga got lit up last outing.
No, he went 6 innings. He gave 2 runs.
What I watched him get lit the frig up just recently.
that was two starts ago. He got lit up, but other than that, he's been good. And then Justin Steele has got like a 1.4 ERA his last 6 starts. Those two guys need to be like the only untouchables. Not the way that Michael Busch has been playing lately for the Cubs. He's going to be another one that you're going to probably consider being untouchable, because he's the one they got from the Dodgers as an offseason trade. He's a rookie this year, and he leads all rookies in home runs and average. And he's basically your everyday first baseman right now at 26 years old. So he's going to be another one that's probably going to be putting himself in the untouchable conversation. But everybody else, as far as I'm concerned, everybody else can be gone in the Cubs this year. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, is performing. Freaking Dansby Swanson's hitting 199.
Who's your coach?
Council.
As much as I like Craig Counsell, I kind of look at him as very similar to Ryan Sandberg. Great player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he's manager material.
He was great in Milwaukee, but the thing that he always had going for him in Milwaukee was he always had a good bullpen, which the Cubs don't have this year. And he's always had that good player development system where whenever they would call a prospect up, the prospect would do well enough to stick in the majors for a long time, versus the Cubs, whenever they call players up, 1 out of every 8 might do well, and the other 7 are just kind of sitting on the bench because they can't do shit.
Yeah, I can believe that.
And the other part of his struggles this year, which nobody really talks about, is 23 of the 26 opening day roster guys have been on the IL at some point this year. So they've literally had 3 players that have not been on the IL at any point this year from their opening day roster.
So you can stop spraying.
What game is she playing?
My son is playing Fortnite right now.
That's what it is. I'm a great Fortnite player. The last time I played Fortnite, I actually did win. I waited out. I actually got 2 kills in the game, and I was able to snipe somebody from really far away, and wound up as he killed the other one. I was the only one left, and I had a beat on him, and I shot him, and I won. I'm like, ah!
And I'm done playing this game.
But with the injuries with the Cubs too, they're finally starting to trust some of their prospects. They called up Hunter Biggie from AAA, who made his major league debut last night. All he did was throw 11 of his 13 pitches over 100 miles an hour against the Orioles last night. So he's somebody they can build around now. They called up Porter Hodge a couple weeks ago. He's been throwing 97 plus for the last month and a half. I mean, they're starting to call up some of these prospects, but now it's like a lot of your good prospects, whether it's James Triantos, who's in AA, whether it's Owen Casey.
They are bringing them up for sale.
Well, they're all
blocked
right now, though, because Owen Casey is in the outfield where you have Seiya Suzuki's got 3 years left of his contract. Ian Happ's got 3 years left of his contract. And if Bellinger opts in, then you're blocking Owen Casey, who's just mashing the ball in AAA right now. You have James Triantos, who's probably the Cubs' best hitter in the minors right now. He plays second base. He's blocked behind Nico Horner. Matt Shaw is a top 50 prospect in Major League Baseball. Plays shortstop. He's blocked behind Dansby Swanson. So that's why at this point, I kind of want the Cubs to get rid of some of these pieces because otherwise you're blocking these young kids who are actually showing that they've been improving at every level in the minors.
All of which sounds great, but they're not playing AAA up in the majors.
Well, I know that, but we're never going to know how they're going to be until they get that opportunity. And if you have guys that have 3, 4, 5 years left on their contract, these players are never going to get that opportunity.
I mean, unless you're just playing bad, and then they're going to try something. Like you may be under contract, but you may be under contract playing AAA.
Exactly. But you know what? It's
Or maybe they restructure and they just pay him $1 million forever.
This is not Shohei.
That does get us to the halfway point, though, and might as well do the thing. So, True Fusion Gym right here in the Seattle area in Bellevue, Ballard, and their new location in University Village. Use the QR code on the screen for a free 5-day pass, any of the locations, Pilates bar, and of course, that includes hot rooms. Find your edge at True Fusion Gym. And of course, shout out to my buddy Rob, who starts his new job next week. So congrats on the new job, man.
Rob's going to go to work, which means we won't be seeing all of his interesting posts on how the Phillies are so much worse off because they play in the National League.
Yeah, you should do something about that garbage team you got.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so garbage as far as I'm concerned. How about the fact, not for nothing though, but how about the fact that the Guardians right now are leading the American League?
That is shocking.
You know, I haven't seen like what their team batting average is, but I know it's got to be because of the pitching.
They're in a top. I think they're top 7 in batting average too. But they have like the 3rd or 4th lowest payroll in baseball. And if it wasn't for that Jose Ramirez contract, they'd probably be the 2nd lowest payroll in baseball.
So, and
Frankie, Jay was here. He just has terrible signal, so he's fine. We did a wellness check on him. He's all right.
So, out of all of us, actually, I said the Guardians. I said that the Guardians I thought was going to be the lead out of all of us because I actually still have our list of who we said we're going to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Both the AL and the NL. I was the only one. As of right now, I would be, I would be probably closest because I have the Orioles, the Guardians, and the Astros, which, because I thought that Seattle was going to,
I mean, the Astros
are the only 2 games behind, so it's not
exactly.
like
they're right there.
I think who was it that you had? Oh, Rob had Tampa, the Twins, and Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Tampa. Where's Tampa at? Tampa even in the mix?
They're 4th, I think.
I hit you 30 with my
They're 4th.
Oh yeah, they're under 500. So
Yep.
How about the Red Sox actually playing?
Yeah, that's
so far.
Right?
Can we switch topics to college football for a second?
Sure.
Did you hear the news out of Oregon last night?
30.
Nope.
What, that they're not smoking pot even though they allowed it in NCAA?
Well, Phil Knight, who is the former Nike CEO and obviously a big alumni from Oregon, which is how Oregon always gets all their awesome jerseys, has basically granted Oregon unlimited NIL money. So any kind of NIL money that Oregon wants, Phil Knight is going to provide that kind of money because he wants his alma mater to win a national championship. So he basically told Dan Lanning, whatever you want for NIL money, you can have and I'll pay for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if nothing else, this will finally prompt a change to the NIL,
Yep.
right? Like they'll have to actually figure out caps, whether it's cap overall or cap per position or whatever per athlete, who knows. But if that's the case, then this will finally move the needle in that direction.
I mean, that's give it that you could be like, oh, I need $150 million for my college football program this year. Okay, here's your check.
You spelled dogs wrong. Go Huskies.
That's literally like Dan Lanning calling Phil Knight one day. Oh, I need $150 million for my program this year. Okay, here's the check.
Ooh. What? Stop.
Yeah, well,
I mean, that'll be crazy.
hey, listen, good on Phil Knight. I don't care how many people they try to bring there. I think there's something in the air in Oregon, and that's why they will not ever win a national championship.
Yeah. Well, see, this is, he wants to buy a championship. I mean, that's the 90s Yankees, and the rings still count.
Yeah, hey, listen, go ahead and try to buy a championship. There was only one person that I've ever seen, short of George Steinbrenner, but George Steinbrenner had so many different pieces to the puzzle that he purchased that it, ultimately, and it didn't win it all the time because of it.
It didn't win it all the time, but he did win it.
He did win it a couple times.
It worked. It worked.
Right, but he had to do it for years.
Yes.
Before he was able to do it. The only person I've ever watched win a championship by purchasing one was Wayne Huizenga. He's the only owner in all of sports that, minus Montreal Canadiens in the 70s.
Okay.
The Montreal Canadiens in the 70s, and I know that that's a little before the time, but they were overpaying players, hockey players back then. More money by, like, you're talking like giving them an extra $50,000 at that point. It was like just a different world back then.
Yeah,
and they were able to buy championships. But beyond that,
an extra $50K back then that bought a house.
Yes, yes, that saved you from having to work at the grocery store in the off season.
Absolutely.
So, but beyond that, Wayne Huizenga is, he did it with the Marlins back in 96, I think it was 97, maybe
97. Yeah.
Yeah. When Darren Dalton went down there and he bought that ring. And you know what? That ring counts like every other ring.
Could you make the case that Doc Rivers' team, when they won their first final with Boston, was bought in when they brought in Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and them?
They had some of those pieces beforehand.
They just had Pierce, and then they drafted Rondo, but then they went out and bought Ray Allen. They went out and bought Kevin Garnett, and they went out and bought like a lot of those bench pieces.
They signed it as could go, but there it was the, hey, I want to play with this guy. That's where that came into. That, like, where I want to play with him. And that's why, hey, I'm not going to win 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5 down in Miami. Like that's how that all got started, because of what Kevin Garnett going to.
Yeah,
Boston.
I mean, the difference is we both have a bag of Starburst and we're sharing them, as opposed to you're just reaching in and grabbing all the reds out of everybody's Starburst. You're just like, you get to have your bag, but they're going to be yellows and orange.
And I can't stand the pink ones.
Really?
I'm not a strawberry fan, no.
Okay, all right.
Not my cup of tea.
What? So Rob wants to know what's your two, both of your college teams.
Oh yeah, that's
For basketball and football, or just football?
The microphone.
I mean, I guess if they're different teams.
So for college football, it's Wisconsin,
Okay,
and then basketball, it's Duke.
I got you.
So I'm gonna have a whole bunch of vote out.
What about you, Bags?
I call it.
I could care less about college football.
There you go.
When it comes to college basketball, I'm usually rooting on the team that's the 13 seed that makes it past everybody, or any Philadelphia team, which usually means Villanova. But Not anymore because Jay Wright's no longer there. So it's going to be a long time. Philadelphia used to have a stable of great coaches coaching basketball teams, and they don't anymore. It's a shame because you think about it, like John Chaney, who I sold a car to back in the day. I actually sold him. I sold him a car. He used to come in and bring he would bring big buckets, like a 5-gallon bucket. It's like, hey, what kind of soup you like? And I would tell him this, and he would go bring like a 5-gallon bucket of soup to give to me. He was a great guy, funny as all hell, but there are certain guys that just command a room, that can command a room really well, and he was one of those guys. And he got the Chrysler Crossfire when it came out. Now imagine somebody 6'8", like 6'7", 6'8", trying to fit in that little itty bitty car.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Temple paid for it.
Huh? There you go.
He wanted to be the first one with it, and he got it. He was the first one with it, and I sold him the car. Just because it was like, hey, he liked me. He just is like, he coming in, what's up, Hags? He just doing his thing, and he just, like I said, he was larger than life.
Yeah.
But he was also like no nonsense. He was just no nonsense. And they don't make coaches like that anymore, unfortunately.
Speaking of Duke basketball for a minute, did you guys see Cooper Flagg and what he was doing to the U.S. national team at their practice?
No, I didn't watch the practice.
So he's 17 right now, and he's the projected number 1 pick in the 2025 draft. And if he didn't have to go to college, he would probably be the number 1. He would have probably been the number 1 pick in the 2024 class.
Oh, okay.
He was making everybody on Team USA look like crap.
Nice.
It was absolutely ridiculous. The one-on-one stuff that he was doing against Anthony Davis, the moves that he was putting on Kevin Durant, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Speaking of the national team, did you see when LeBron and Steph saw each other and KD is like side-eyeing him walking in the back? They're like, yeah, we finally get to play together, and he's just doing the standard KD butthurt type thing. Hilarious. If you haven't seen the video, Google it. It is very funny.
Gotcha.
Like, he went and got a new burner phone right after that. started tweeting some nonsense.
Why do I like Curry so much? Why?
Exactly. And then promptly wasn't able to practice for the next 3 days. So he got so butthurt he couldn't even play basketball.
And then Kawhi Leonard got butthurt or something because he decided just to leave Team USA today.
Yeah, it's not even going to play now. Yeah. Honestly,
Why?
That's probably not terrible.
Well,
I have no idea. They didn't even say why. They just said this morning that he is not playing for Team USA anymore, and he's been replaced by Derek White.
Yeah.
1 HP.
Who knows? But it's Kawhi, and he's just a weird dude. So
He found out this morning that the Olympics don't have that load management program, and he's not okay with he's not okay with playing every day.
Yeah, showing up to work every day is rough.
It's saying that he's been bothered by his knee, and that it's more. This was a combined saying, hey, you know what? Maybe it's best that I don't play. At least that's what this article is saying.
I gotcha.
That this was from the Atlantic.
I mean, you'd have to spin it some way like that anyway. Like, even if he was just flaking out, you'd have to spin it as injury related. Otherwise, the backlash would be unreal.
Yeah, and I think it looks like well, they're saying Kevin Durant's battling a calf strain. But...
Yeah.
Ow!
Yeah.
My calf hurts.
That's one of those. I don't want to practice.
Put some Ben Gay or Icy Hot on it and get back
Right.
on.
Film a new Icy Hot commercial. You'll be fine.
106 actually said.
So, and then here Kawhi talking crap about Paul George. He's like, yeah, it's no surprise that he left.
Yeah. I mean, again, he's just such a weird dude. Like I actually kind of think he doesn't like basketball. as much as he's trying not to ever play, like he likes money, which is why he's still in the league. But he doesn't seem like he likes basketball.
Yeah, Paul. That's what we were just talking about. How he's not going to the Olympics now.
I don't think it's that he doesn't like basketball. I don't think he likes the team concept of it. Like, I think he likes to play basketball if it was because of like the individual accolades, the individual stats, and things like that. But when you put him in like that team environment and the team concept, that's when I don't think he likes it.
I mean, I feel like that's basketball. So basically, he wants to play like backyard basketball one-on-one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, they have a league called that. It's called the Big Three, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you still have teammates.
Got 2 teammates instead of 4.
A lot more time with the ball.
That's where you just tell him to sit down. He's like, you know what? 1-on-3, we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
I haven't watched it yet, Rob. I'm gonna just because I'm curious, especially because it sounds like the Saquon situation is hilarious. But plus, you know, getting to make fun of Dable for saying he can run a 7-second 40 because there is a 0% chance that he's running a 7-second 40. I don't know if he's running a 21-second 40.
You know what? And not for nothing. Not for nothing. When was the last time that you tried to run a 40?
2 years ago.
How fast were you?
It was a 5.0.
See, and I think that if I ran a 40, and I'm 52 years old, if I ran a 40-yard dash right now, as fast as I could get about a 6.5. Between 6 and 6.5.
I would bet if I ran it today, it would probably be about a 6.
And that I'm sure I'm slower than you were. I'm sure that I'm slower than you were because you were probably always faster than me. But I'm thinking like as a 6 is not crazy.
No,
So doing it as a 7, even as a big guy, unless you're just like you run 20 yards and you're like, I need a donut. You know what I mean? Like that's the only reason why you're not running a 7.
No, I mean, I think you'd be surprised. I would bet that if you were to put an actual number on it, I would bet that he would probably realistically about a 10-second 40.
Yep.
Okay.
Just because of how big he is.
What really has he?
He's not exactly built for speed.
He's not, no.
You know, I bet he's probably around a 10-second 40.
Oh, dang, he was.
All right, well, I think
Because
it's a little heavy, but maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
he's significantly bigger than us, and if we're guessing we're a 6-second, or between 6 and 7 seconds, I have to imagine a guy that's got almost a buck on me, probably.
You guys make me want to go run a 40 now.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm curious. Like, I'll probably actually go time myself one of these days just to see what it is.
Last one I did was 2 months ago at baseball practice.
Yeah, what'd you have?
4.53.
I hit West exactly.
Okay, there you go.
A 4.53 40.
I used to be a state sprinter. I used to get 4.4s.
Yeah, I ran a 4.34 as my fastest timed 40 when I
I think
played.
my fastest was my senior year of high school. I had a 4.42.
Nice.
Yeah, I never ran a 40, so just I
You
ran.
drank a 40. I said you drink 40.
You drank a 40.
I have drank some 40s in my
Yeah,
life.
I would say we've all done that one. And to be fair, I did not do it in 4.3. That is not how fast I drank a 40.
Why not?
Just not skilled like that.
I wasn't trying. I was on the block just sipping on the bag.
That's right.
Looking at it.
Little nip to keep me warm. Gets cold out here in Seattle.
Unless you were drinking a Mickey's, it would have been hard to get the volume.
That's a 22 ounce wide. Yeah, the big mouth. The big mouth.
Exactly.
I used to drink them Mickey's. They look like little grenades.
Yeah. terrible, terrible stuff.
Yes, it was nasty. That you would get that, and then you could back that up with some Boone's Farm or some Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah, I never did the Mad Dog, but man, drank plenty of Boone's Farm.
Boone's.
Ugh. And just thinking about it, you're like, how did I drink that crap?
Oh my God.
Nothing like a supersized wine cooler, basically.
Nice.
I remember back in the day we had the Zimas.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zimas. All Zimas are every seltzer today.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Well, so actually, on that note, I went down and visited my my parents on Sunday, and it was hilarious because they had smeared off ice. I hadn't seen one of those in.
They made a comeback. A little bit.
And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I wasn't even going to drink, but I mean, I'm going to have one of those because I remember drinking those as a teenager, and being like, okay, and they taste exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't changed, not
They
even a
have
little
not.
bit.
They have not. Or sorry, not as a teenager, as a 21. Yes. Don't underage drink. If you remember our old commercials.
Yeah, they'll come back up when we when I start taking back over the reins again.
Yep. Zima Gold.
I don't remember Zima Gold at all.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
I
But
think
it
it looked,
sounds great.
I think it looked like bottle. I think it looked like basically beer bottle champagne, if I remember correctly. What it looked like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So it was like that, like yellowish clear color that champagne is, and it came in like a 12-ounce bottle with a black label.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds gross.
You have to let me kill you.
Sounds
Lime
great.
whiskey sounds terrible.
He sounds like he's having a great time over there, and
He's playing with everybody from school right now.
got ya.
Thinking 40-person battle royale right now.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
great.
Because I hear him in the background. It's just like, and I usually play like I would play Fortnite so that I could talk to my kid. Like just that was the way I did it. And then of course he stopped playing that. I tried to learn how to play Overwatch, which is impossible unless you knew how to play in the beginning. You don't know how to play Overwatch. It's just not. But I did go to the Overwatch esports championship one year, and I got to watch it and had no idea what was going on. But you could tell that the one team was absolutely kicking the shit out of the other team. That's the only thing I could say. I'm like, yeah, this is just, why can't they? Well, I guess they're just not good enough. They're just not doing.
I mean, I feel like you could probably play Imposter with them, though.
Play what?
Imposter. Play that one.
Never have.
It's basically these little like space guys on a spaceship. I played it with my wife's niece, and basically you're in there trying to kill each other mostly. And, they're trying to figure out who the imposters are on the ship. So the first thing I did was promptly, kill her niece in the game. Because she's like, you got to play. And like, she was trying to come and kill me. And I just happened to have the drop on her. She came around the corner and I was like, pop. And she starts laughing. She's like, man, that is not how that was supposed to go.
See, and playing any sports game like MLB The Show and stuff like that, I would do that. It's just
game.
the problem is that you got to upgrade it every year, and I ain't interested in spending.
Not if you do what I do. I take the cheap way.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I'll just spend 4 hours and just look at every roster and just trade the players from what roster to what they're on now, and then when it comes to like rookies, I'll just pull a random person out of AAA and change their name. I do it the cheap way.
Yeah, but even still, you got to play up against other people that are not.
Yeah.
You got to play 24. You can't play MLB The Show 20 because nobody's playing that.
Yeah.
Let's let me kill you.
So, and I play
mean-
Rocket League.
Rocket League's fun.
Why?
I suck at it so bad.
Rocket League is great.
Yeah, and the problem is like I like to play the hockey game on Rocket League because the puck doesn't really leave the ice, which is a lot better for me because if I have to go after the ball at some point, I screw it up. Like I'm always in the wrong spot at the wrong time. I'm better off at just running cars over. That's what I do best. Blowing other cars up.
Yep.
And getting blown up. But every once in a while I'll score a goal and I'm like all excited about it. Like, woo. But
you take the small victories where you can.
exactly.
No, I mean, that would be true if I played any of the video games because I so rarely get the opportunity to. So anytime I do play, I am bad, right? Like I spend the first probably hour just trying to figure out exactly what all the controls do again.
Right. That's part of. Yeah, I'm not. I have a hard time. I have no dexterity in my hands. That's the problem. I don't have any speed. My hands are too big and too clumsy.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I'm like, not my thing.
Yeah.
But that is what it is. That's part of life being, having big hands and trying to play video games. That's why I'm really good at Fortnite because I can hide very well.
Don't have to use the controls much when you're just hiding.
Nope.
But you could follow the storm in, and you just make sure that when you hear gunfire, you go in the opposite direction. Or when I hear somebody in the house, I wait in one spot until they open that door, and then pow, 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 and then they're jumping up and down, and I can just, you got a shotgun so you can get them. You know what I mean? It's like, but that's about it. That's as much as I'm going to be able to do on any
Dash just come to us.
sporting.
That's what I used to be like on James Bond on N64. When we play on multiplayer mode, I'd shoot one person and I'd go hide in a corner and just wait until everybody else had one life left and just come out and blast them.
Right. Well, the other good thing at Fortnite is that you could kill somebody and all of their stuff is all over the place. You can grab what you want and then leave something of value there.
Yeah.
So that somebody else goes to get it and then kill him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
Exactly.
I'm also very good at being in the right spot where the storm is going to close in on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very good at choosing those spots for some reason. Like it's like, hey, where's he going to go? Because he's like the furthest away from where the storm, where the bus is letting people off. So I'm like, I'm going to go all the way over here, and just so happens that that's the area that's going to be the final showdown area.
You get the
So,
medallions, I get the mythics.
which I'm like, all right, that's awesome. I'm glad that I am in the right spots, so I don't have to move very much. And thank God there's nobody around.
So what do you guys got going on the rest of the day as we wrap this thing up?
I have a special interview happening in 40 minutes. I will not discuss on this show, but it's coming. This interview is going to be an interesting interview.
What about you, Stat Guy? What do you got?
We have our league championship game tonight for baseball. Other than that, nothing.
Right on. And then, of course, for me, it'll be the next show here at 1:00. We will be chatting with Miami, or the Dolphins assistant coach Rob Everett. So
Nice.
it'll be fun. Yeah.
Is this with the Jacksonville guy, or is this the?
No, so this is a show that I do with NFL special teams coach John Bonamego.
Got you. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to tune in.
Absolutely.
I also have the Phillies versus Dodgers tonight too.
Nice. That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's as good as it was last night.
It'll be another curb stomping.
Exactly.
I'm ready for it. I like curb stompings, especially when I'm doing the stomping.
Yeah. As long as you're on that side of it, it's not too bad. All right, everybody that has been watching, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring us our content to you, because apparently words are hard now. And if you're on Roku, stay tuned for the next hour. See y'all tomorrow.
Take care, guys.